Asiana Flight 218 was scheduled to be a routine red-eye flight from Seoul to San Francisco, carrying 276 passengers and 14 crew members. Among them was Ji-hoon Park, a quiet software engineer returning from a brief visit to his aging parents. He hadn't expected anything more than a few hours of sleep and a cold breakfast tray. But halfway across the Pacific, at 35,000 feet, something unexpected happened. The aircraft, an Airbus A350, began to vibrate slightly. At first, many passengers thought it was turbulence. Ji-hoon felt it too, but he noticed the crew was suddenly moving with more urgency. Whispers turned into anxious questions. The captain's calm but terse voice came over the PA. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've encountered a minor technical issue and will be diverting to Anchorage for precautionary checks." A ripple of concern moved through the cabin. Anchorage? That was hours off the main route. What? The captain didn't explain, at least not yet. Was that one of the sensors controlling fuel flow had started reporting inconsistent data. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to trigger a safety protocol. Better safe than sorry. Asiana Flight 218 veered north, carving a new path over the frigid, moonlit sea. Below, vast expanses of ice floated silently. Above, the aurora borealis flickered like a silent guardian. In the tense hours that followed, strangers became friends. Ji-hoon helped an elderly American woman reconnect her hearing aid. A teenager traveling alone from Bizen broke into tears, only to be comforted by a grandmotherly passenger who didn't speak a word of English, but whose touch and soft voice said everything. When the plane finally touched down in Anchorage just before dawn, emergency crews waited, but weren't needed. The landing was smooth. The problem? A faulty sensor, easily repaired. But in those anxious hours above the Pacific, something intangible had shifted. After a brief layover and a new safety check, Flight 218 continued its journey to San Francisco. The passengers, once strangers, now nodded to one another like old neighbors. Ji-hoon, exhausted but reflective, thought of how unexpected detours could bring people closer both in the sky and in life. And so, Asiana Flight 218 landed not just safely, but with its passengers a little more connected to the world and each other than when they left.